Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today, I want to give you what I think is the most important number for your investing life. It's actually an easy number, one that we can all remember because one number is nice, it's even, it's round. And then we're going to get into how do you actually get that number and some resources to help you get there. All right, so I have a graphic on it by 4Pillar Finance, so I'll pull that up in just a second and tell you why it's my most important number. But that number is $100,000. That is the most important number for your investing life. If you can get $100,000, everything gets easier and everything becomes a lot more fun as an investor. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. But for some people, you might be thinking, look, $100,000 is a lot of money. I just started yesterday. I just invested my first $10. I just invested my first $1,000. Like, how in the world am I going to get to $100,000? You could actually do it. It can be easy, but it will be time. So based on, you'll see in the graphic, I'll show you just here in a second, it could take 8 years. And I did a tweet about this as well. That's totally fine. You would be like right on pace if it takes you 8 years. If it takes you 5 years, you're even better. Like you're ahead of the game. But that's when that compounding interest, you really start to see it, because some people will tell me, well, I invested $500, I made 15% or whatever, and it's like, I made $65. Like, this is not really exciting me. I want the big money, right? That's why they go for GameStop and AMC and Dogecoin and all that kind of stuff, because it feels like you are doubling up and making a whole lot of money real quick, when in actuality, you see what happened to Dogecoin and others, right? So let's go ahead and break this down. I'll give you a way on how you can get that first 100,000. I think for me, it took 7-ish years to hit my first 100,000, I think. And then once you start doing that, you get a whole lot closer to the next 100,000 goal, which is 200,000. So I'll go ahead and pull this up and we'll write on the screen, and then we'll go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so again, on the right-hand side, you can see this is from 4Pillar Finance. They created this, but it's all math. It's all the same compounded interest that we all talk about. All right, so this is by investing $10,000 per year at a rate of 7%. Now, 7% is actually, I would call that easy. I think that is, some people don't like the word lazy. I call it lazy, but lazy in a good way. Okay, like I can just hit autopilot, put my money in the account, put it in an index fund, something like ITOT, or SPY, or VTI. Any one of these ETFs will get you right around that all for the long term. Okay, don't think you need all. I don't think you need two. You need to pick one. They pretty much do all the same things. So anyway, over time, we know market is going to get you about 10% when you account for inflation. The rising cost of stuff, you're going to get it right around 7% return for the long term. Okay, so 7% easy. We can do that. Now, 10% annually, that's a bit different, right? There are different ways that you can come up with this metric. If you got, well, actually, less than $1,000 a month, but if you are getting a 401k match, because this counts, people don't think about it all the time, but the money in your 401k, it does count. So you can put in $5,000 per year, and then maybe your employer matches. That's another $5,000, and boom, you got $10,000 annually. Okay, so that's another way to do it. But also remember, you can start to build up. You can't do 10,000 in a year. That's fine. Do 1,000, right? Do $100 a month. Do whatever you can, and you'll start to build up. And you can also hit that number. So I'm gonna do some quick math real quick, just to double check. So this would be $10,000 a year is about $834 per month. Again, you can cut that in half if you're getting an employer match. If you feel like that's still a lot, $833 a month or $34 a month. It's a continuous decimal. Y'all remember that from math class. But you can start at $200. Okay, start somewhere and start to get as close as you can. However, if you do $10,000 annually, and if you do 7%, then that's going to give you about 7.84 years to get the first 100,000. Here's the thing: you will never, in the case of this, with average returns, everything being equal, right, is what we say in economics. If things are consistent, which we can argue they are or aren't, that's a debate for a different day. However, however long it takes you to get that first 100,000, you will almost never have to take that exact same time again. So in this case, right, and we know for the past 50 some odd years that the stock market is relatively consistent for the long term. So if you did this for the first $100,000, it's going to take you close to 8 years, 7.84 years. You will never have to wait for that again. The next 100,000, once you hit that $200,000 level, boom, we're looking at just 5 years. The next one, almost 4 years, 3.78, so less than 4 years. Then you've got right at 3 years, 3.01, then 2.5, 2.4, 1.87. That's from 600,000 to 700,000. And this is where you really start to see the ball rolling, right? Once you get that first 100,000, everything gets a whole lot easier. Now, again, and I really want to stress this, when I first started investing, I was only investing $100 per month. It's all I could afford. I was a teacher in Dallas. I was fresh out of college. That's all I had. Okay, so it is not something that people get overnight. It is why I really want to emphasize that it may take you 8 years or more. Okay, it's fine, but it's going to be worth it. If it takes you 10 years, right, the next 100,000 is going to be less than that because that accumulation is going to be there, right? So 7% on 100,000, right? That first 100,000, that's $7,000 of interest. Then you put more money onto it each month as the market grows. That's when you start to see that compounding interest work a whole lot harder for you. And this is why long-term investing is the real strategy to go to, right? Because when we talk about stocks here on this channel, on this page, whatever platform you may be watching this on, this is why we talk about those longer term stocks like the Microsofts, like the Googles, and others. Those are just like the top two that I always think about. Disney, you can throw that in that category too. And it's why you don't see me very often talk about stuff like Dogecoin as a legitimate investment. I think Dogecoin is down, when I checked earlier today, it was down 50%, 50% in just a month. Right, you got Bitcoin that's down significantly, down to at one point it was below $30,000. Earlier this year, it was at like $65,000 per coin. Do I still hold Bitcoin? Yes, but it is a tiny share of my overall wealth. What I'm most interested in and where I put the most money is what I know I can prove and what I know has decades of research, plural, not 1 decade, decades of proof and evidence and history to say that we know that this thing works, right? And that is the stock market, that is index funds, and that is quality companies. Speaking of quality companies, we're going to talk about a few more next week as we start to shift out our portfolio. You know, I'm really high on the financials, so we'll talk about those. But this is a proven strategy that we know works, right? This is what we know works. I don't have to guess; it's what I know. All right, so the 100,000 is like the main goal. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. You can't be a millionaire without hitting that first 100,000 person in the investing space, right? So start there and start to roll it, right? If you again, it started for me. It started with $100. It took me close to 8 years, but I got there, right? So you can do it as well. Start somewhere, start small. We talk about that all the time. You can start on public. You can start, especially at your 401k. If you have one at your current job, you can start anywhere you need to start, but it does have to start. It starts with that first deposit, starts with that first investment, and then things start to grow. Okay. There is no amount small enough that it can't grow. Okay. People ask me all the time, what's the right amount to start with? It don't matter. Start with 20. Okay. Start with $2 if you can. If $2 becomes $2.50, boom, that's interest. Let's do it again, right? You keep adding, you keep growing, but the entire thing is it ain't gonna grow if you don't start, right? That's the key thing. All right, so that is it for me today. Wait, it's almost it for me. Before we go, I need you to do 2 quick things. Number 1, hit the like and subscribe button and hit the share button. Do that right now. Help your boy out and help other people out that need, everybody need to hear this message. So go ahead and hit the share button for me. And the second thing I need you to do is I'm teaching a course this week and next week on building your 6-figure investment plan. We put these things together. I actually have a part of that slide inside of the presentation, but I show you a few stocks that can actually help you get there in less, or that would have helped you to get that first 100,000 in less than 7.84 years or whatever is on the chart. So I want to show you how to create your 6-figure investing plan, no matter where you are. Okay. So no matter where you are as an investor, or how much money that you have to start investing, you can be flexible and you can change some things around to help you get there a bit faster. So I want to make sure that I show you how to do that. It is free. It is free. It is free. So make sure you sign up, buildingbread.com/free class. That link will be above, below, wherever it is you may be watching, it's going to be there. All right. So I want to see you in class. We have a lot of fun. I do these like often. So I do them so I can almost memorize the entire presentation because we do them so much. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share button, all that kind of stuff. And I will see you, yes, you, in class. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.